And joining me now, Senator Bernie Sanders of Vermont. And Senator, I want to start with some news that a bunch of people have broken today, that there appears to be circulating somewhere in the White House an executive order to begin the process of withdrawing from NAFTA. You've been very critical of NAFTA and deals like it. But given the record in the first 100 days, I'm really curious what you as a senator do with information like this, since it's always hard to tell where anything's actually going.
That's exactly right. I mean, every day we hear another story, but we don't have any of the details. Today, as you know, Trump announced his tax reform bill, which was all of one page, which, by the way, of course, gave huge tax breaks to billionaires and large corporations. So until you see the details of a plan, you can't really comment on it. On the other hand, what I will say is that we have a trade policy in this country which has for many decades been a disaster. We have lost millions of decent paying jobs. Corporations shut down in the United States. They're moving to low-wage countries abroad, hurting the American working people. So I think what we need is a trade policy. We need changes in our trade policy. We need to make sure that corporations are investing in this country, not just China, Mexico, and other low-wage countries.
Another part of the sort of carnival atmosphere today, there was a million things happening, was this strange spectacle of everyone in the Senate getting on buses and going over to the White House for a briefing that normally would just be conducted at the Senate itself. My understanding is you're one of the people who did not go. Why did you not go?
For precisely the reason that you gave. These supposedly highly classified briefings always take place in what is called the SCIF room in the Congress, which is a very well-designed room to prevent any cyber security issues or security issues in general. What I did not want to be is part of a photo opportunity or a political effort on the part of the White House. The issue of North Korea is enormously important. And we need bipartisan efforts to control North Korea's very aggressive nuclear efforts. But I did not want to be part of a roadshow for the White House.
There's also the other big piece of news today is that the Trump care has been revived. The House Freedom Caucus has prevailed upon the leadership to make it more favorable to the insurance industry in some ways, to take away more patient protections. And I just get the sense this is DOA on the Senate. Like, what, even conservative colleagues of yours, they're not going to run with this ball.
I don't think so. I mean, again, here you have a president who said, I'm a different type of Republican. I am going to fight for health care for, quote unquote, everybody. And then he brought forth, along with Paul Ryan, a health care proposal which threw 24 million Americans off of health insurance, raised premiums for older workers, defunded Planned Parenthood, and cut Medicaid by $800 billion. And this proposal will likely be worse. So, look, bottom line here, Chris, I'm going to introduce a Medicare for All single-payer program. We've got to join the rest of the world and guarantee health care to all of our people as a right.
So you just said something I think is interesting. You said, here's a guy, I've had you on the show before, other Democratic colleagues have said this, even others, outside elected office say, he campaigned in one way that's kind of new. He was breaking with these sort of Republican orthodoxies. And here he is, and it looks like, I feel like, and I'm curious if you feel this, having lived through George W. Bush, a kind of George W. Bush 2.0 trajectory, increasingly, in what is actually taking shape in a concrete sense.
Not 100%, but by and large, that's true. Look, here is the Republican Party mantra, and how they manage to win elections should tell us something about the state of the Democratic Party. Bottom line for Republicans, hundreds and hundreds of billions of dollars in tax breaks for the top 1%. Cuts in health care, trying to overturn, repeal the Affordable Care Act, throw millions of people off of health insurance, cuts to programs that working people desperately depend upon, whether it is Pell Grants, whether it's affordable housing, whether it is after-school programs, whether it is childcare. Same old, same old. Tax breaks for the rich, cuts in programs that working people depend upon, and also the added twist, their belief that climate change is a hoax and cozying up to the fossil fuel industry.
All right, Bernie Sanders, Senator of Vermont, thank you.
Thank you.
Hey there, I'm Chris Hayes from MSNBC. Thanks for watching MSNBC on YouTube. If you want to keep up to date with the videos we're putting out, you can click subscribe just below me, or click over on this list to see lots of other great videos.